pastor will get private jet. Say they give unto God. You mumu. Tithe na Yahoo. Any 100,000 naira a month and somebody is telling you to bring 10,000, is that person not wicked? Oh, you are earning 40,000 naira in this economy. Can you eat? Then somebody is still telling you to bring 4K out of that. Yahoo ni tithe. My opinion, and I backed it up biblically. If Christ no collect them, nobody got any right to collect them. And right now, no, we don't need churches right now. What are we doing with all the offering? We are giving money to God. Have you given money to your fellow man? You don't chop. You don't lame. You want to give money to God. Did they tell you God is broke? Please feed the people on the streets. They never chop. Beggars, destitutes, sick people, orphans, widows. They're full everywhere. And you want carry money, go give pastor, we get private jet. Say they give unto God. You mumu. Tithe na Yahoo. Any 100,000 naira a month and somebody is telling you to bring 10,000, is that person not wicked? Oh, you are earning 40,000 naira in this economy. Can you eat? Then somebody is still telling you to bring 4K out of that. Yahoo ni tithe.
Thank you, Daddy Freaks. Thank you very much for adding your voice to this call. That is really, really great, and I appreciate it. I understand that you have been one of those people who have been talking against this tithing for like ever, and your voice and your activism has been life-changing for many people in Nigeria and in Africa. In fact, I was inspired by you to also add my voice to this call. So thank you for not giving up, and thank you for keeping the fight going. Thank you. You know, these people, they have no shame at all. They really have no shame at all. Because I don't know if they live in a bubble not to see what the people are going through in the country. I don't know if they have their own kind of like universe that they live in, and the things that affect us don't affect them. I don't know. Because anyone living in Nigeria would feel the pinch of the inflation. Everyone. But except they have their own universe, and so whatever that is happening to common people like you and I don't affect them. Maybe. But I would hope that the so-called preachers who claim to be looking out for the well-being of common people actually do that. I will hope that the so-called men of God actually do what they claim to be doing or claim to be here for. Because they have always claimed to be making sure that the common person has a voice. They have always claimed to be there, and they're making sure that common people have a say in society, and that they are God's representation on earth, and they therefore are looking after God's creation on earth, which is us, the people. That is what they've always claimed. But I don't think they have actually done what they claim to be here for. I don't think so. Because if they were really looking out for the well-being of common people, they would not be asking them to pay tithes, to do donations, to do offerings, considering the hardship that we all are facing in the continent and in the country. They will not do that. They will not do that. But from the look of things, they don't care whether we live or we die. They don't care. They don't care whether we survive or not. They don't even want to know if we are surviving or not. They don't care. All they care is about their beloved tithe. All they care is about their precious offerings and their seed sowing. That's all what they care about. If you can give them that, then they will be okay. They don't care whether or not you are starving. They don't care. They don't care. And brainwashed people will dance to their tune. Gullible people will dance to their melody. Ignorant people will follow through with what the horrible preachers are saying. This is bad. This is bad. And then you hear a person like Pastor Chris come out to say that people should not criticize men of God. That how dare us talk about men of God with such a negative tone? That how dare us think negatively about preachers? And he is saying that after gathering so much money from those people. He is saying that after being one of the richest preachers of all time. And he is saying that, you see the hypocrisy, you see. So we don't have right to call them out, no matter what they do. We don't have right to call them out, even though they have deceived us day in, day out. We have no right to point out those situations. We have no right. Who are we to say men of God are doing too much? Who are we? That is what Pastor Chris wants us to think. But gone are those days where we common people had nowhere to share our thoughts and opinion. I say thank God for YouTube. Thank God for Facebook. Thank God for social media as a whole. We, the common people, now have a place for us to share our thoughts and opinions and to also give our own take on the men of God. Before, they have just mainstream media, and we common people had no access to those platforms. So all what we could hear was what the men of God wanted us to hear. But thank God for social media. Thank God for social media. Now they cannot silence us anymore. We will have to say what we think about them. Whether they like it or not, they will listen. And let me share one small thing before we move on to the next video. Have you realized that most of them are panicking? I mean, the so-called preachers, they are panicking, and they have changed their messaging to be, don't talk against men of God, don't hate men of God. If you're in an environment where people talk about men of God, move away from them. They are panicking. It is only those who are panicking would start talking about things like this. Because if they were really strong enough, if they were firmly enough on the ground, they would not worry about people criticizing them. They will not worry about people talking negatively about them. But because they know what they've done, and they know that they've been lying to people, they are now panicking. Their legs are trembling. And that is why you see them out there doing damage control. Most of them will be saying that, you should not criticize men of God because God has a covenant with the people. I think it was Johnson Suleimanu who said that it is wrong for you to criticize any man of God no matter what they do, because according to him, God has a covenant with the preachers. So no matter what preachers do, let them be. According to him. And he is saying that because he is also a preacher. So he is indirectly protecting and shielding himself. That's what they all do. They all want to protect themselves from people's critique. That's what they do. But I thank God for social media, like I said before. I thank God for social media, because whether you like it or not, you will hear our own opinion, and people will hear our own opinion, and some people will move away from the church. Because you guys have corrupted the Bible. You guys have corrupted the church. You guys have used the church and God to make so much money for yourself at the expense of poor and ordinary people. That is what you guys have done. And this is what that makes me angry the most. Because you fool poor people. You fool gullible people. You preach prosperity gospel that has not worked in their favor. And after all your preaching about prosperity gospel, who has benefited enormously? You, the man of God, you, the author of the whole prosperity gospel. You are the one who has benefited a lot. Those people who worship together with you, those people who follow through with you, haven't benefited anything. And that is why our society is as broke as it is. If any of you guys want to dispute me, let's take a case study. Look at Nigeria with all the millions of people it has or she has. Most of them are Christian, so to say. And most of them are broke. So if prosperity gospel was a thing that could benefit the people, shouldn't they be successful by now? Ask yourself. Ask yourself. And if you are an honest person, you will ask yourself this question. If you are really a believer, someone who believes in God, someone who loves God, then you ask yourself this question. How much have we, the people, the common people, benefited from the whole prosperity gospel? And how much have the men of God benefited? If you are able to ask yourself this logical question, then you will see everything very, very clearly. But until that day comes when you are able to ask yourself this question, things will just keep on happening to you the way they've always happened to you. Nothing will actually change until you start asking yourself the necessary questions.